Corey here with another podcast of Healing for Yanni. Thanks again to the settlement for letting us come use their space. Throw over to the brother now that got on today.
He's going, Quaden Georgetown, otherwise known as Keith, or around the system and the streets and that, known as Quack. Raised around, originally from up Queensland, most of my from Cherbourg, done a little bit of growing up there when I was a young lad, you know. Went to school there in Cherbourg State School for a little bit. Come back down, moved down this way with my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't know why we ended up down here, but yeah, come down here about 6 years old. Ended up in the, didn't take long, like just around, when I was young, I remember like being in Redfern, Glebe over in Belmont Street, and the Women's Refuge. Another Women's Refuge there over in Livingston Street, Murrayville. And then, as per usual, ended up in the childcare system there through Gallimar, which is now Redfern Children's Services.
Yep.
Over at, they refer to it as the House of Horrors, Magellan Home for Kids. Then from there out in care,
Yeah.
In care. Till I was about 12 years old. My old lady got me back when I was about 12. Problem was I went into care because my mother was an addict, alcoholic.
Yeah.
You know, but you get out of care and my mother's still an alcoholic. But you know, when you're a young fella and you've been away I went into care when I was about 7. So went into care when I was about 7 years old, and then mum got me back when I was about 12. We're over at East Balmain.
Yeah.
Done a little bit of growing up over there. Real culture shock too, because as people know, East Balmain is a real affluent area, you know.
Yeah.
And having a little black thing there, you know, and the houses and that. There's only 2 little houses blocks there, but that was mainly all for war veterans and whole mob, you know. But somehow mum ended up with a flat over there. But yeah, like stick out like a sore thumb there, you know. And my mum, they used to spade black folks, you know. Yeah, and you know, so I went to school over there, done a little bit of high school in Balmain in Cleveland, here in Cleveland Street High School. Yeah, and as per usual, just ended up in the ruts of all the sort of lifestyle of young Indigenous kids. You know, not so much growing up in the city, but growing up not knowing who they are, where they come from, not having no strong positive adult role models around them, and it just ended up in sort of all the rat races and all the rooms and all the areas that, you know, just sort of a lot of our people seem to find themselves, especially young men, you know.
Yeah. Sure, bro.
Bro, and just been through just a lot of the stuff that a lot of kids growing up around here been through: addiction, boys' homes, prisons, having kids to different sisters, you know.
Yep.
Not by design, but just not understanding what, when it comes to relationship, what truth and foundation is in relationships.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. And got what have I got? Between me and my partner, we got 6 kids. A little fella passed away at birth in 2018, and we've got 4 grandkids between us, which is a bit of it can be trying and testing at times, but that's what makes good families, you know what I mean? Yeah. And just got back with my partner. We've been apart for like 11 years, but yeah, we got back together, and things are sort of going real good for me at the moment, like those.
I'm happy to hear that, bro. You know, it's known you for a long time, bro, from when I was a kid, you know. Brother boy we were just speaking about before, Mikey, you know. Cherbourg fella, so used to go around there and see Auntie Barb and Uncle Mike. So I remember as a kid, you know.
Dobell flats there, right?
Yeah, Dobell, bro. Mum's still there.
Yeah, I see you there all the time when I walk past. I always give a cuddle and kiss and that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's so many families and mobs are going through Dobell flats or in and around there, you know.
True.
But yeah, so I guess so going back to, you know, Cherbourg, you remember any time up in Cherbourg as a kid, or you just remember kind of being in the city?
brother, before we just sort of get into the conversation,
Yep.
Do you mind if I just have a little prayer, because I feel that, like, if I can take any chance to represent who I truly am, I take that. And
Yeah.
like, I'm a Christian, brother.
Yep.
Like, I recently just got back in with the church and that, so I really want my words to be directed in the right way. So if I could just take a minute, if you don't mind, I just want to like just say a little prayer.
Of course you can, brother.
If you don't mind, because yeah, just take a second, you know. Eternal Father, Father God in heaven, creator of all things, seen and unseen, the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. Heavenly Father, you sent your only begotten Son into this world to die on a cross. Through his death and his blood, it's given me a doorway to know you, Heavenly Father. Lord God, may your name be lifted up on high. You know the hearts of men, Lord. The way we look and the way we talk, we can deceive people, but you know who we truly are. Heavenly Father, I just ask that you allow your Spirit to direct this conversation, direct my words, so that if there's anyone out there listening and they're struggling, come from a lifestyle like a lot of us inner city blacks, that you may, through your Holy Spirit, reach out and prick that heart and let that person know that in you they got a friend, and in a lifestyle that you have prepared for them, because like it says in the scripture, you come to give life and life in abundance. And so I ask in Jesus' name that you direct this conversation and make my words fruitful. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Yeah, thank you, my brother.
No, all good, bros.
Yo, so we'll direct this now. Where was we starting that podcast?
Yeah, no, so if you could think of, growing up in Cherbourg, or was you only there for a little while and you kind of remember coming down to the city more?
Well, I was actually born in South Brisbane, Mater Hospital. I was born in South Brisbane, Mater Hospital, and we lived in West End. But my first memories of being a young fellow was in Cherbourg.
Yep.
I don't remember being there too long, but I remember like going to state school there. I actually was in the same class as Selwyn Cobbo's father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and his uncle there, Basso. Yeah. But yeah, Cherbourg State School. Played one little season there with the Hornets when I was a little fellow. My uncle Tom Langton was the coach. And then my next sort of memories is like around Riverview, West End, Musgrave Park, and then Big Bad Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how'd you, as you said, culture shock, so I guess for you, when you first moved to Sydney, was there blackfellas around where you moved into, or?
Oh, well, my first memory was here in Every Street.
Yep.
My uncle, Terry Booth, he lived in Everly Street, and I remember me and my brother and Ron Rookie, Andrew Roberts. I remember a couple of fellas, and then I remember being over in Glebe in the Women's Refuge.
Yeah.
And I think it was in another women's refuge there in Living Street in Marrickville.
Yep.
And then that's the start of what the start of it was for us here in Sydney.
Yeah. Where'd you first go to school? What was the first school you went to?
Glebe Public School there.
Yeah.
I was at the Glebe there, and I also went to Marrickville Public School, but I was at Marrickville Public School because I ended up after, I don't know how it happened, but we ended up in care.
Yeah.
Me and my little brother, and I know I was with Gallimar because when I went to Cleveland Street High School, I was walking up, you go up to the cauliflower there.
Yeah.
Yes, I was walking past there one day and I was like, fuck, I remember that building there.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was Gallimar. Yeah, I went through Gallimar and ended up in care.
Yeah.
Over at Marrickville there in Magellan, the Magellan Home for Kids. Yeah.
You remember anything about that place?
Oh yeah, but as most kids come through the care system in the 80s, it ain't no secret, but there was a lot of destruction and abuse and pain inflicted on like kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their little bodies, you know. And the Magellan Home for Kids was sort of like where all that sort of lifestyle started for me. You know?
Yeah.
That lifestyle surrounded in sexual, I'll be just straight, that sexual abuse and
Yep.
all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
right. Yeah.
No, and thanks for sharing that, bro.
I know, but I don't hide. I deal with, as a lot of people know from this area, like I have a real extensive, long history of heroin abuse.
Yep.
And yeah, it's like I don't, you know, I'm clean now.
Yep.
Through the grace of God, and because the grace of God, and also I love my missus, man. You know what I mean? I've got someone who's got me back, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and also through that unwavering, tenacious spirit inside myself that just I won't quit, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I guess just on that, bro, before we go back to the childhood, that not quitting, has that played a part in also getting the help you need to get off the drugs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's a double-edged sword, see, because like I got a little saying, and it sort of goes like this, you know, the abuse that was inflicted on me turned around and made me a strong cunt today, I reckon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I like, as you know, like, I'm a little bit older than you, but I lost a lot of brothers and sisters to that way of lifestyle, you know what I mean? And I can guarantee you, out of at least 85% of them would have all been sexually abused as kids too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And that is true, bro. It was actually funny. I'd done a podcast with Uncle Glenn Collis.
Old Box.
Yeah, old Box the other week.
Champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love him.
And we talked off camera, and I was like, the work I'm doing and having these yarns with people and stuff, and it made me reflect on my brother. And it was like, I wonder what he abused. What, like the abuse he got because of his addictions and what he was doing in life and stuff. I never got to have the chance to have that conversation with it. Yeah, so for me it was just like, I guess doing these yarns with people, meeting different people and knowing what happened back then in those systems, that it plays a big part into why my brother was the way he was.
Yeah, well, I'll just let you know, as we've probably spoken about before, the needle in the arm is the end result. You know what I mean? It's not the beginning result. It's the end result of something.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like, I know that, and I've come to the understanding of that. You know, so for too many years I've spent wasting too much time trying to deal with this and not dealing with that down there. You know. Yeah. So I wouldn't be too surprised. Like I said, most people doing that's the end result. So there's something else they're dealing with, or whether they know they're dealing with it, you know what I mean? Or, you know, because I've actually heard stories about people who been through torture and they've suppressed it so hard that they don't even, a lot of people don't even remember most of it, you know, and it's weird to say that, but it's true.
One thing about the brain, bro, it's such a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah.
But it can also be such a twisted and cryptic thing as well.
Yeah. Turn back and turn on the human that's
Yeah.
You know.
So going back to as a child, so was sport a big thing for you growing up?
No. Like I said, I never had that family structure.
Yep.
And I guarantee you won't find an NRL footballer that went through the boys' homes and never had a mother and father and somehow made it. You know, you got to have family structure for all that sort of stuff. But I did get into a little bit of sport as a young fella. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I never had that structure of, you know, like someone teaching me, or, you know, everything that I learned, I just learned from, you know, just running around with kids and, like, you know, we played in the street or at school and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
I remember it was one time down the basketball courts in Waterloo. It wasn't long after I was built. Down there, a couple of young fellas, and we're all young fellas at that time, and you come through and you were shooting around with us and stuff, and you self-proclaim yourself the invisible man because no one sees where the passes are coming from. I remember that, bro. I was only thinking about it the other day when we were talking online there, and I was thinking, fuck, I remember that when he come down. He's like, I'm the invisible man. You don't know where the passwords come from.
I would have been standing too.
Oh, yeah, you were, bro.
Yeah, rocking around. Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess, out of home care, I guess when was your first experience of just, knocking around the block and just hanging around the block?
Well, it's ironic. I ended up back over here chasing Dubai.
Yeah.
Yeah. My first little high school sweetheart. You know what I mean? Yeah. She lived over in Alex and that, and grew up around this area all her life. Yeah. So when I was about 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come back over here, and because I went to high school in Glebe.
Yeah.
There's always like that brother-sister relationship,
yeah.
like with kids here and going to school in Glebe and that. So I already knew a lot of kids over here.
Yeah.
And also I'm not going to hide around the fact a lot of kids that went to Glebe went there because they couldn't get on with certain kids from certain families in this area. Because we don't sort of experience it. I've never experienced it in other areas, but people get real territorial.
Yeah.
People, as you know, we're Waterloo kids. Our kids are Waterloo. And my other children are Waterloo kids.
Yep.
But my youngest fellow is, because his mother, she's Redfern mob too.
Yeah.
So he sort of classes himself as a Redfern lad.
Yeah. And I'll say, between two of your sons there, one of them classed himself a Waterloo boy, and the young ones, and some little arguments they have on social media with each other about it. Yeah, but it's good now because they're sort of like they're close.
Close now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But it wasn't like that when we was young fellas.
Yeah. No, it is. It's Redfern and Waterloo have really galvanised together.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember growing up and someone say, "Oh, you're from Redfern?" No, I'm from Waterloo.
Yeah,
I'm not from Redfern.
I still like that now.
Yeah.
No, I'm from Waterloo boy. But
Yeah. So going to Clevo, I guess, would have been also a new type of culture shock with so many other families and strong, prominent families from Redfern and Waterloo there as well.
There's a weird dynamic. And, it's a weird dynamic, and it's a structure sort of got to get used to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'll say it straight out. Like a lot of people from Redfern and originally from Redfern, you know what I mean? And they get a bit tribal about. That they from here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's sort of like a lot of trouble I had with certain Indigenous kids.
Yep.
Little did they know the lifestyle I've been through. You know what I mean? Never got to grow up with cousins, aunties, uncles, all that sort of shit. But I was just one person on my own in the world. You know.
Yeah.
And I just come here chasing. When you're a young fella, I never had love.
Yeah.
I never knew what love was, and I found it in sort of my first love, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up over here,
Yeah.
Just sort of chasing that around.
Yeah. No, that's it, bro. And that young love, that, as they call puppy love and stuff as well, it would have filled you with emotions that you didn't even know existed in you as well.
Yeah. And especially like coming into a family where they got that structure of having a mother and a father, and a mother and father that works and directs love at children. All that was like, whoa. I didn't know black fellas live like this, you know what I mean? Because it's no hidden fact, like a lot of other blacks, we grew up with that in it's like a born thing. It's like you're born with it, but this shame, this deep shameness, you know what I mean? I think back about it now, and it wows me because I walk head high in my cars. You know what I mean? I was fortunate enough to make real couple mans when I was a bit older in life, you know what I mean? And through meeting them, after meeting them, I just don't fear no situation now, especially with white fellas, job opportunities, conversations, all them sort of things, you know what I mean? But as a young fella, I was just habitually just broken with this shame, you know what I mean? It's so hard that sometimes I couldn't even conversate right, you know what I mean? And then with that too comes the lying. You know, like how can I explain it, my brother? The made up persona, you know what I mean? because you just built with so much that shame in your body. You don't want people to know who you really are and where you really come from. You
The
know
image
what I
you portray.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, what some people, the mask they have to wear.
Yeah.
And it's probably a mask that you've had to take on and off so many times in your life.
Yeah, it's so much, but see, it's a double-edged sword, because what happens is and I'm a big advocate for kids not putting that mask on.
Yeah.
Because what happens is it creates the deceiving spirit, especially in men. It creates that deceiving spirit, and like they say in the Bible, Satan is the father and the originator of all lies. And as Christians, we say there's only, like people say God can do anything, but we say that there's something God can't do. What's that? He can't lie. You know what I mean? And what happens is that lying spirit, once it comes on a human being, like it's really hard to get out of it. And developing that lying spirit also develops that thieving spirit. Show me a thief and I'll show you a liar. You know what I mean? So it also leads into a lot of other dark places and dark rooms too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I guess going from hanging around the block and chasing your first opportunity at love and what that is, and just on that love thing, I had a brother on the podcast a couple of months ago now, Chrissy Jones, well-got fella, and he said the first time I ever got told someone loved me that I can remember, he goes, it was in my first time in Bathurst jail, just before lock-in, one of the brothers goes, I love you.
Yeah, because that's how they talk.
He goes, love you, bro. In the morning, he goes, for me, it was like a shock.
Yeah, but they mean it too.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they're coming around the cell next morning, out to feed. Cook breakfast.
Yeah, and that's what he said. He goes, for me, he goes, something wasn't said in my house. He goes, for the first time that I can remember, the first time someone that said they loved me, I was in jail.
Yeah, I totally understand where the brother coming from.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of brothers get trapped in that jail
100%
too, you know what I mean? Yeah.
100%, brothers.
Just live out here, live rough, and then just go, oh, well, I'm going back to where I'm loved, you know what I mean?
And somewhere that's actually got a bit of structure in my life.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it gives them. It offers them that structure. The only thing they can't have is they can't be that father and be that loving partner, you know what I mean?
Well, and to be honest, bro, some of them, the most loving partner they actually are is when they're actually locked up.
Yeah, best dads and that.
Yeah.
Through a phone and letters.
Yeah. That's probably the most present they've been.
Yes.
In their partner, mothers, or kids' lives.
Yeah. And I've heard many stories too. I don't mean to digress off the subject. I've heard many stories of like people, and including my mother as well, like where they just go, get happy when I know you're locked up.
Because I know you're safe.
Yeah, you know.
100%.
It's a sad thing, eh? Get happy when I know you're locked up. It's just like, finally, You know, scary thought.
Yeah, and it just shows how far someone goes into addiction, and so how far someone goes into not processing their trauma, as you touched on.
And self-hate.
That sometimes for parents, it's actually, if you're locked up, you're probably safer than you are out here.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
They definitely are. And they'd be getting that dose of, excuse my language, but they'd be getting that dose of love too, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, not cat follow ways, but but you know what I mean, like just, and also like conversation based around truth. Yeah. Because when you're in prison, if you think you can lie, you're gonna get caught out real quick.
Because the best lies are fucking in there.
That's right.
That's it, bro. And those older fellas are quick to calling you. So, but I guess going back to that, and you touched on your addiction. So where do you think that started for you, bros?
I'm not too sure, but I'll talk a little bit about how my drug life sort of started. Yeah. So, I think I first smoked pot when I remember the first time I smelled it was at the Women's Refuge at Belvin Street.
Yep.
And but I think I was in year 7 or year 8.
Yeah.
Smoked marijuana. Nah, body rejected it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Year 8, like when you're young and you want to kiss the girls and hang out with them and that and try and get a start, and you go drinking in the parks and that. Yeah. So like I used to do that as well, young fella around Balmain and that, but got on the grog and that body rejected it. Yeah. But situation happened in my life in, I think it was 1994 when I'm about 15-year-old. I was hanging around other street kids. Yeah. and we used to go around doing this thing called searching.
Yeah.
You know, till popping and back room. And
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Old urchin.
Yeah. Oh, city living, eh? But anyway, with some older boys, they call them like RBS fellas, you know. And I was knocking around with them and got it earned. And one of my brothers, who's my age, he goes, the older boys want to go out Cabra. And I was like, well, what for? They go, we're going to go and get halfway to gear. And I was like, yeah, can't I cruise, you know, we'll go out. And so we went out to Cabra and got on, went to some pool hall, all the donuts there, you know, all the brothers. And as you know, here, Waterloo, you got all the
everybody,
kids here, you know. And, but went out there and it was ironic because I ran into a bloke that I went to Glebe High School.
Yeah.
He was there, he's like, what are you doing here? I was like, no, I'm just with these fellas. And he goes, I remember he goes, no good, you know what I mean? I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but ended up at Lidcombe in a flat. And, you know, Doilies there, at Lidcombe, they got that club there, Doilies, just down the road from there. And one of the older fellas, he about 19, 20, and we were about 15-year-olds, but you know, sort of like street kids I hung around with, not putting tickets on myself or nothing, but they ended up being some pretty bad fellas and later on in life, and they're on news and they're what they call bikies and all that, you know? And so like even though we were young, we could go out for even lads that are a little bit older than us, you know? And so like and the older fella, about 20-year-old, because I remember that they were at that age then, we were only in boys' homes and they were already getting us ready, like, when you come to jail, you make sure you tell them you're a mainstreamer, you know what I mean? Like educating us like that, you know? And so he had a flat out there and they were doing this one. But they're like, no, you're not allowed to do that. If you want to do it, you got to do it like that, you know? And understand, I wouldn't have done it anyway. But because it was the smoking style of it, I had a crack at it. And I tell you, like, see, I was telling you about when I smoked young and I drank, and that was just rejection. When I first tasted that heroin, and got stoned, it was like fucking, just this resignation. My body just, it's like this resonating sound, and my spirit, it was just like bang. That's the drug from. Like I was just like bang. That's it, you know. But the one thing was having experiences growing up around here and in the city. You know, you see the monkeys getting around, and you're like, oh fuck that, like you know that you sort of understand the dangers of it. And but that's like the first time I tried heroin when I was about 15 years old. Smoking it on the foil. They call it chasing the dragon. But I remember always remember that first time. It wasn't like it was a mad hit. People go, oh, you always chase that one hit, eh? Nah, I just liked it because it just resonated with me. You know what I mean? Well, I thought it was resonating, but all it was allowing me to float away in that stratosphere where that shame wasn't there no more, that fear wasn't there no more. I wasn't embarrassed about who I was, what I'd been through in life, you know what I mean? And it was, it
was an escape.
It was an escape, that's all it was, you know what I mean? But I was, at that age then, I was too immature to understand the dynamics of brains and addiction and all that sort of stuff, and the connection between the physical and the spiritual, you know what I mean?
I guess fast forwarding to, back in, I was at 15, fast forward 25 years, 30 years, and you said that to get rid of the shame, escape reality. We've had yarns before where you're quite, when you did use and you're deep in your addiction, that you'd move away from people to do that, you'd do it isolated.
Oh yeah.
So, did you, find over time that the shame come back even if you were on a high?
Oh yeah, it was a different shame, but you know, it was a different shame because it was a shame of, you know, like you stone, you're a user, but you got people who love you. You know, and it's more of a shame because number one, you still got that lie demon in you. The you know, the deception. But it was more of a shame that you knew you looked for it and you were making wrong decisions. But the thing was, it was just not having those 6 shooters in your pocket to be able to have that techniques to be able to overcome all them sort of things. And it's just taken time with me. You know, meeting different people, being put in different situations. Bang, take that. Bang, take that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Nah, that's it, bros. And that's a thing about, you know, like 6 shooters you use, or people use tool belt or whatever it is. It's about taking those good things and going, okay, I mightn't use that tomorrow, but I know I've got it. I know I can use it. I know I can rely on it.
I'll pull it out the safe when I need it.
Yeah. So going back to, I guess, being 15 and earning, and I guess having that first introduction to chasing the dragon. What transpired after that for you? So like,
well, because obviously the shame and like I hadn't even, like at that age I hadn't even had proper sexual relationships with girls before. You know what I mean? And you know, like you couldn't go around saying that you touched heroin and that. But what had happened was, I think I'd used it real not sporadically, but like just bang, 6 months later, bang, 4 months later, had another go. But it was all only when I was around certain people and away from this sort of town, you know. Because you know, it was like here and that, you know what I mean. I didn't want to be put in that side, like the label, and it's so obvious when people start using, and like, you know yourself, like you come up the age groups with certain fellas. And it's all good, like we play footy together, we hang out, and then next minute they just go on a different track, and then you see him again, and like everyone goes, oh no, he's on it now. You know what I mean? So for me, I didn't start using properly until I had my first daughter.
And was that, you don't have to dive into if you don't want to, bro, I'll ask the question. Was that the fear if you didn't know how to be a dad as well, you think?
Yeah, I think it was around that. It brought out a lot of raw emotions, because I've been, like, the thing is, like, my first partner and their family, they didn't know what I'd been through in life, you know what I mean? And I wasn't about to tell no one, you know what I mean? And more than anything, I wanted to hide that more than anything, you know what I mean? I'd hide it behind any lie, anything, you know what I mean? But it's ironic, we're in a situation now where you can put any kid in front of me, but I know what they're going through. You know what I mean? I've been blessed with them tools where I can identify it, bang. You know what I mean? But it's not like it was their fault. You know what I mean?
No.
But yeah, it was more to do with just, you know, becoming a dad. There's a lot of resurfaces a lot of pain around, because you got a bundle of joy. You know what I mean? And like, you love it, but then you can't understand why you went through what you went through. You understand? And then also, there's also that other thing where, like, it was really weird for me, like, just, fuck man, it's hard to touch on, but like, even just, just emotionally dead in certain areas, you know, and, you know, like just the innocence of a child. And just how there's some demons in the world, you know what I mean, that can go to that, you know what I mean? But I just, that's where a lot of it started for me once I had that first baby.
Nah, well, thanks for sharing that.
No, it's all good, my bro. Like I said from the start, like, you know what I mean? I'm all about truth, bro. You know what I mean? And that's my rock, bro. You know. That's my rock. That's my weapon now, bro. Truth, bro. You know what I mean?
It's you know, it's a big thing about being truthful and honest and stuff like that. It's such a big core of what equality is. But it's also about being safe yourself.
That's right. That's right, my bro.
So I guess from you know your first daughter. So where did your life take you after that?
It didn't go too well. It really went real destructive as soon as that my eldest girl came along. Lifestyle, everything just went real destructive. Ended up in breakups. You know what I mean? then latched on to the pain of breaking up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, then latched onto the after effect of the break on, latched onto that as a means to all ends to just use, you know what I mean? It was about that time where I started injecting heroin.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, it was just they gave you those reasons.
Yeah. And like, I mean, I'd been like, through my teens, I'd always been in and out of boys' homes, you know, and but like, once I had that little girl, I was 18 when I had her, and then when we broke up, and then that's sort of like, then that's when my jail life started.
Yep.
You know, after she was born, after she was about 1.
Yeah.
You know, I started getting all that destructive life, and the crime started getting more destructive too. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Started escalating and
taking
more risks.
More violent.
Yep.
Yeah, and even then there's an addiction to that as well. You know. What I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's about that other high, that endorphin
Yeah.
high that you're trying to look for.
Yeah, and also like plus you get indoctrinated too, my brother. Like, you know, growing up as a black father and inner city kid, you get indoctrinated with that, all that shit. Like, yeah, like everyone deserves to be punished. You know what I mean? Fuck them. You know what I mean? Like, you're suffering because of every cunt out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And if they look like they're happy, well, they're the ones who they're happy because they're happy. They can only be happy because
They take a mine away.
because you're a black father. You know?
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's something that some of our young brothers and sisters still have. Is that real resentment against somebody's colour of their skin or their background
or they're doing all right. You know what I mean? Little do they know that their grandfather was over like cleaning bins and toilets. You know.
Yeah. Exactly right.
Yeah.
No, exactly right, and it's from there and that destruction and stuff. So, where did you? I guess. I know you've always called inner city home, but I guess floating back from here in Queensland as well. Yeah. So, for you, was that like just try to get away from the rat race to Sydney, or trying to find home up there? What was that for you?
Sort of like just got sick of doing jail and that.
Yeah.
And also like I grew up not knowing who I was, in the sense of like I never knew who my father was.
Yeah.
You know, and like I never really questioned my mother too much about stuff. I just took whatever she said because I knew it was traumatic sort of for her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From other circumstances of asking certain questions and that, so I sort of just let it rest. But also like having a place like Cherbourg, see, because my biological nan, who I like when I was young, I actually used to call her mum, and she passed away when I got out of care. I'd been out of care for about 6 months, and she passed away. And but I always had that affiliation and that connection with my nan's sister, my old man KK, and like all the Langton boys.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I did go home one time under a court. What do they call it? Like we're a court mediation sort of thing. Instead of doing more jail, you know, because my grandmother up there was a senior sergeant of Sherbrooke's mission.
Alright.
Yeah, and so I was able to go up there when I was 21 instead of going back to jail, and just like sort of reconnect with them.
Yeah.
And it was ironic because my nan was the senior sergeant of the mission, and like she got me back home, and like her grandson was a full-blown junkie.
Oh yeah.
And like going up there, like they sort of don't. At that stage, I didn't really know like that. There was the speed sort of thing up there.
Yeah.
Like not the demon of heroin.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And but I'd gone back, and like I remember my nan saying to me like, "Baby, just whatever you do, just don't bring any needles here." And I promised. I said, "No, Mum, I'm here to do the right thing." And but it was a real good experience the first time I went back at the age of 21.
Yeah.
When I went back at 21, I stayed with my nan, and she was working on the police force up there.
Yeah.
But they're not real coppers with guns and that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just call them, what do they call them? Like mission police.
Yeah.
And like my nan, like she's had a little like Chinese woman.
Yeah.
And like what she just got, she don't take no excuses taking no giving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I was up there, she goes, "Why you're here? You're working on the police force too." And I'm like, "Nan, but you." Yeah, with the CDP, you know.
Yeah.
And it was ironic, and like so the Mergen police, like they sort of knew what the go was.
Yeah.
And I'd be cruising around with me nan and Nanny Emma stood on me like a little 2 day a week workforce, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I remember it was a real good experience because I used to work with another brother there. We're allowed to say names. A brother named Ronnie Carl.
Yeah.
And he was a like mission police too, and like we used to have our own little van, like little copper car.
Yeah.
You know, it was just with the Sherbrooke, like the Sherbrooke Aboriginal Settlement like emblem on the side.
Oh yeah.
And with a little spotlight, you know. And all the kids they used to go, oh, chase us, you know.
Yeah.
I used to love going around chasing around the mission and that. But it was ironic because I remember one time I was cruising around, I was by myself, you know, and so when the other workers used to go, we're going for lunch, and I used to go, oh, can I take the car?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I didn't even have a license. I think I'd been banned from having a license for like 11 years at that time, yeah. And I'd cruise around, and there was one other brother there, Mikey, and that's Uncle Rexy Weasel, Danny Boy, and I'd drive past and he goes, what? He goes, yeah, you can't. He goes, you're the biggest trim around here. Yeah, but it was real good experience, you know, meeting all them friends again, because I hadn't been back there since I was like, I went back seeing me for my nan's funeral.
Yeah.
But I did meet me. One thing I do remember when I went up there when my nan died, I met my biological grandfather.
Oh,
but I didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
And, you know, like. Yeah. And that's like as life went on, I started realising, mum's been deceptive here.
Yep.
And like then I was at that time too. I met for the first time my biological father.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. But that was, like you said, it was good being able to go up there.
Yeah.
But it didn't last too long.
Yeah. And I guess it's over life and stuff. You found yourself down in Sydney, but back up in Brisbane and stuff as well. Yeah. So trying to.
Yeah, but I've always I classed like here as home.
Yeah.
And like what people got to understand is when you like, because a lot of Murrays live down here.
Yeah.
But we all suffer from the same thing, like because we live down here so long and we grow up in this style of living down here. Like what I say is this: Queensland, they cultural strong, but down here they community strong. You know, and but like I'm always back and forth up there, especially once I got with me, my Murray woman there. Her father's a Murray, but she was born and raised down here in Richmond, you know. Since I've been with her, like when I first got with her, I was up there quite a lot, but it's difficult because I just I got a prominent last name from up there.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's my family's here.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but like I know they're my blood family, and I don't have nothing against them, but
your connection's here.
My connection's here, brother.
Yeah. That's
that's why I say I'm from, like even now I'm always saying Waterloo boy.
Yeah. And that's exactly it, Brian. And it's like you said before, people come to Redfern, not from Redfern, but have this, I guess, tribalism around it.
Yes.
And it's a kind of the same thing around, kind of what you're saying there at Waterloo is, I know my roots aren't from here, but all my connections are here.
Yeah.
I've made roots here.
Yeah.
So it is home for me.
Yeah.
It's and having yarns with you before, it's I go up to Brisbane and stuff like that and do what I need to do up there, but when I come here it's home.
Yeah. But it's always been a double-edged sword for me because this is where all my addiction life is.
Yeah.
But lately it's been good. Life's been good for me lately.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've ever been able to live in Sydney and not years, and I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing because my boy, he wants to live down here full time too. He's been coming back and forth since he's born. He loves it down here. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Last year we had talking about that, and you said I've never actually been clean when I'm in Sydney.
Yeah.
So
first time.
And it's probably as you spoke about earlier, it's because you're starting to deal with that other stuff.
Oh yeah, but and that's a tricky story in itself, too, my brother.
Yeah.
It's weird how God will put you on a path, and you go, how do I deal with this? But you don't realise it's the path you need to walk. You know what I mean? It's the path that, because I've walked that path, that's what's allowed me to be clean now. Because instead of dealing with the end result, I started dealing with the real problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
The cause of it.
yeah, the cause, the root cause.
And it's, you know, for our young mob and older mob as well, it's those things with, as you call it, the end result, you know, you smoke it or you whack it up, whatever you're doing, is the end result of it. There's a reason you started using. Until you start to fix that, process that, doesn't mean you got to like it, doesn't mean you got to accept it, doesn't mean you got to forgive anybody that's hurt you along the way.
That's right.
Just means that you need to actually start doing that work.
Put the work in, bro.
Yeah.
Put the work in.
Yeah.
You know.
And the big thing for especially men is to understand that as a child, you was a child.
That's right.
And it wasn't your fault.
That's right.
You know, having those real conversations with yourself. And I talk to brothers all the time, and you know, they've grown up in houses of domestic violence, and it's like, have you got a kid yourself, bro? And they're like, yeah, I've got a 5-year-old at home. It's like, well, if you went home now and your 5-year-old tried to fight you, what would happen? He goes, well, you wouldn't win.
Yeah.
And I go, well, how would you meant to protect mum?
That's right.
How was you meant to protect your sister?
Or
Well, how was you meant to protect dad?
Yeah.
You know, like, you're only a child, and trauma didn't let you be that child.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's true, though, eh?
Yeah.
And you develop all those traits and characteristics.
Yeah.
From that young age, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not that the child means to develop them. It's circumstances and that they have no control over. Put them in that passage of life, and they start develop. Yeah, I've seen kids as young as 4 develop them traits. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know.
It doesn't allow them to be a child.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's such on high alert about things that they shouldn't even know.
That's right. Yeah. And that's but one thing, Kaze, like I always try and advocate about trauma and addiction. They don't see colour. They don't see race. They don't see social standing. You know, like it all comes from a demon, and that demon is always with a smiling face. You know what I mean? And and 98% of the time, like you said, it's not their fault. You know what I mean? And they're just stuck in this world of a circle with bars, and they just can't get out of it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, that's it, bro. So you touched on, I guess, your youngest and your eldest. What about the ones in between, bro?
The Lawrences. Me boy Marky and Harley, they both grew up here in this area. Harley's 17 going on 18. We sort of have a real love-hate relationship.
Yep.
You know what I mean? She's the only child I got that I've never ever really been able to have a relationship or be a father to.
Yeah.
She just sort of was born in that wrong, you know what I mean? Yeah, time. And I suppose as well because like being a fucking mug, like I don't think I met her until she was like nearly 3 years old. I remember getting a photo and they go, oh, that's your daughter. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I didn't even know my mother was pregnant.
Yeah.
You know? And
it plays into it, because sorry to cut you off, bro. Just while you're going there, that 3, there's a lot of studies showing now that first 1,000 days in a baby's life is so crucial. So turning 3 is about 1,000 days. So it shows that, that really it is a crucial time. First and foremost, to know somebody is, but also to build those relationships.
That's right, and they've got a lot of brain development, in the frontal lobe cortex. When they're at that young age, that's where they, like, you look at little kids, and they can just learn the languages real quick, and they just, I'm actually reading a book called Body Mind Mastery by Dan Millman, and he talks about the effect of, like adults when we take on an obstacle, we have that fear factor. But we're little kids, they just go,
let's do it.
Jump right into it, you know what I mean? And they talk about the importance of having that sort of mentality again. But then again, like you said, it's a two-edged sword because we never developed that relationship. And then like by the time I met her, I was on another journey in life. You know what I mean? But the thing is, what they got to understand is the troubles in our relationships not got nothing to do with them.
relationship with yourself.
Yeah, it was my problem with me and whatever. I just say, like I say to my kids every time, I apologise and I say, forgive me. It's got nothing to do with you. It's my weakness as a man. You know.
Yeah. Then on the other hand, you know, Marky, he absolutely idolises you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my G, bro.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for my son, bro, I don't know where I'd be in this world, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
And I've know there's been times, because as you know, him moving up to Brisbane, and a couple of his mates moving up to Brisbane.
Yeah.
And I don't even think he knows that I know this, but there's been times where the boys have said, let's all move out together. He's like, nah, I need to be around Dad. I need to make sure Dad's okay.
Yeah.
So brothers, it's nothing against you.
Yeah.
I just need to go home so I know Dad's okay.
Yeah. No, he's my G, man. He's doing real well in life, eh, bro. It's a, you know what I mean? Like, I remember I was just digressing, bro. I remember I was running around on the streets wild, and like, if I'd ever like do an earn, or like if your dole check goes in, I'd first place like bang straight over, you know. And it must have been my dole check, because I went there real early in the morning, and like so as soon as I got money, I was like, oh, I better go and chuck them 100 each or something, you know. And I cruised over there, and I remember I was off my couch. I was not in a good state. And thankfully, like the mother, like not an asshole, like, what are you doing here, fuck off? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? I just want to come see the kids. All right, I mean, you know, and come in, and he's sitting on the lounge like this, like little 14-year-old kid, you know, with his little buck teeth, and I walked in the house, and he's got his little steel cap boots on, all decked out in his work gear, all his reflective gear and that, bro. So,
nah, you're right, my bros. You're right, bros.
Give me some. Yeah, just seeing him like that, eh, bro. And I remember I said to him, I said, fucking oath, bro. I said, you're fucking more of a man than me. You know what I mean? Just seeing him in that scene, like, you know, I was only like 5, 6 in the morning or something.
Yeah.
And here he is, like 15-year-old with his work, and all decked out in his work clothes, and he's going to work like a real man, you know? And I don't own that. It's not for me to claim that victory. That was his mother, you know?
Yeah.
That was all his mother, that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just seeing him with that strong work ethic, and just like, more or less my son teaching me how to be a man, cuz, you know? And it was, real powerful, that was,
Yeah,
bro.
Oh, thanks for sharing, bro.
I love him, mate, cuz. And he's doing heaps mad now.
Yeah, he is, bro.
Yeah,
good kid. He's a good kid, bro.
Yeah, he's like 12 months out of full trade. Ambitions of wanting to become an owner builder, you know, because that's real generational wealth there.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to own his own, you know, building company, and like got big dreams for himself, you know. And I just encourage him all the time in any way. Me and, you know, like, he's a real honourable kid, like Quaden's mum, he calls her mum too, you know, like real Murray way, you know, real blackfellow way, you know, and he loves his mother with a passion, but he loves his mum yak too, you know.
Yeah.
And got real strong, and so that's what he wants to do, like, you know, build, have that, and that's what he wants that he create, that's what he says, that I don't create generational wealth. You know what I mean? He says, everything that you went through, and everything that, what I hear about blackfellas, and how he, like he says, he goes, it stops here. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's where it stops, bro. Like
100%, bro.
Like, you know what I mean? I hope blackfellas don't get upset with me, but I ain't got no time for culture cuz, because I tell you something, I grew up in the culture, not deep in it, like speaking language and that, but see, for me, like, because I know what culture is, and culture's a law system, see, cuz. There's more to culture than just putting a bit of paint on, doing a shaker leg, or doing a bit of artwork. For me, culture's a law system, like, and it's not to be played with, okay? And the crimes that I've committed against humanity, under their laws, culture laws, I'm dead.
Yep.
You know where I'm coming
100%.
from. And so, yeah, like you know, like I've made sure my kids, like, you know, knew what it was to do, Guatemala, robbery from where we come from, and like proper paint up style, what they mean. He's been given paint up styles by black fellas up there from his tribal, like kite hawk style. He's been learnt that style, you know what I mean? But I tell him, like, culture's good, but the thing is, if you want to make real changes in this world, the old people done the marching system because they had to, but we have the foundation set by them now. The march days are over. There's nothing stopping a black kid from getting out there, joining the police force, becoming a lawyer, fireman, starting their own building companies. This is where real change happens in the black community, you know what I mean? And I'm a strong advocate for fixing the man, fix the family.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And on those things, I 100% agree with you. With, you know, the foundations have been set now from our elders by marching and getting us some rights. But the one thing that you said earlier also applies to that is you don't see a first grade footballer that comes from going to juvenile justice and stuff like that. It's the same with that. You don't see people turning their lives from a young age into that.
That's right. They need a safe space.
Yes.
They do need a safe space, you know what I mean?
Yep.
They do need a safe space, you know. But like, I also like, I know immigrants that have come to this country and they didn't have a safe space, bro. What they done is they just knuckled down. They copped all the abuse, cleaning toilets. You know what it's like. You know when you go and eat your Macca's at what's it called, Westfields, and you're there having your feed and that, and you just push your shit to the side and that and walk away. Some Asian or some immigrant, they come along and clean that. You know what I mean? And their jobs where we say, I want to do that shame job. But they do it with pride, bro. And I've seen families come to this country sweeping and cleaning tables and toilets in one generation, the next generation doctor or lawyer. You know,
right.
You know.
Funny story, and I remember going to Waterloo Macca's with young brothers and stuff, and grew up around with, and the two I mentioned was three I mentioned. Me and Mikey used to go in there and be an absolute fucking nuisance.
Of course.
Would throw shit everywhere, pickles on the windows, like we'd just be cunts. Going there with Travis and Rees, they would make sure we cleaned our shit up before we left. Those little things, bro. And it's not that me and Mike didn't come from houses where we could live like that. It's just that we've been cunts. With that thought process of we don't have to clean it. But it was Travis and Rees used to always hold us accountable for doing that. Make sure what are you fucking doing? Like clean up. But and now it's installed in me. Like I'll be at Westfields now. As soon as I finish the feed, I'll chuck in the bin. Like
it's ironic you bring them twins up because them boys have had a lot to do with Mark as well.
Travis been a big part of Mark's life.
And bringing him up, you know, and bringing him through, and I'm indebted to them fellas, you know, and Christine and Champa and that, you know, and they've been real real driving force. You know, they mightn't think it. You know, they might think what they do is only little, but it's actually so significant in people's lives. You know what I mean? And it's ironic because you'd think blokes like that be the ones getting all the fun and getting all the money. You know, but it seems that it's not for me to judge people, but it seems like it just all gets directed in the wrong hands, just so certain people can just live lavish lifestyles. You know what I mean? But like if I was the one who was in control of directing money, like I'd be like, hey, bud, you seem to know what you're doing. Need some cash. You know what I mean? Because then it's not just Mark. There's a lot of boys who can attest from this area, like
100%. That crew that grew up with Mark, like Trav's relationship with those kids, they're like mates now.
But they're all, that crew, hey, they're all like working, man.
They're all good kids.
So like, I mean, they've done really well on a budget. They're going for shoestring, you know what I mean?
Well, the biggest part of that budget, brah, and it starts up again in a couple of weeks, has been Oztag.
True.
Biggest part of the budget's been Oztag, so the boys got Oztag.
Shame job. Indigenous people who are in control of directing and fund, listen.
And it's been Ozbrows. We put them into an Oztag team. And at the end of the year, no matter what, Trav puts it because Trav's quite fucking competitive. So if they win the comp, they go for a good feed.
Yeah.
If they have a kind of mediocre comp, the feed's not as good. And the thing I used to check out the boys too is when I have my business, because I help out the Oz Day, when I have my business doing the events and stuff, and the season used to finish a week before NAIDOC. I was like, if you win the comp, he's all getting in the NAIDOC after party for free.
Oh, because you're doing security, eh?
No, that was my business. So I was doing those events. Yeah. But I don't think they really ever paid anything for the alcohols when they come in. But it was one of those, and it still happens today that Oz Day, but it's built off the core of that friendship group.
Yeah, they've done really well. Because I've seen there's even another young boy that grew up in Waterloo. He works on that Cross River Rail project up in Brisbane. He's full tradesman and everything.
Yeah.
And they just spin me, eh? That's what I say when I was few fellas age. I was, mate, and they're driving around in Hiluxes and nice cars and like.
They were nice cars, bro. We didn't know them.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But they're like, and being around and doing real well and like you walk up there, you go and you see like they're like real men. Good, There's no, they're not here hiding nothing. They're just straight, straight blokes, bro.
No, that's it, bro. So looking, I guess, it's Mark and young Quaden has come down to Sydney. How's he finding being down in Sydney?
Oh, he loves it, cuz. I got out of prison one year. I was in prison one year, and there was all that commotion, sort of over whatever happened. But I sort of had to just stay away from it. I was in jail and thing out like that, and I got out of jail, and his mother would try and make contacts with me and that, more or less, bud. Yeah. I didn't lay down and make this baby with myself.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want with your life, but can you have a little bit to do with them?
That accountability.
Yeah, and that's what she's been really good at that. But so I thought I'd sort of start getting back into his life, and I wasn't asked. I was actually living with this other Sheila, right? I was in it was like I was trapped in this dungeon, just smoking ice every day in a dungeon,
Yeah.
And somehow I just ended up back in Brisbane, and always, I don't know whether all black women are like this or just the ones that I've been fortunate enough to be around. It's just like, I'm here to see the kid, and there he is, Yeah. And, but seeing the state that he was in.
Emotionally?
Emotionally, but just that fear thing, and but let's go for a walk. No. What do you like? What do they call them? E-bucks or whatever. In a room, just sitting there playing games all day and not engaged in anything, not wanting to go to school, just not wanting to do and then when he comes down here, just totally different kid,
Yeah.
Where are you going? I don't even leave the house up there, and he's off, babe. But won't talk to me. Wants to do his own thing, but it's really mad for his development. And just like I said again, Queensland, culturally strong, Sydney, Redfern, Waterloo, community strong,
Yeah.
But he's blossomed really well here, and because he stayed with his auntie around the corner, and with his auntie been with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just having her there has been a blessing.
Good old pin, it's deadly, bro. Yeah, thanks for coming and having a yarn. And final question is, when it's all said and done, and you go back to the dream time, bros, what do you want to be remembered for?
Wow, good question, my cuz. Wish I would have had a little bit of time to think about it, but fighter, started from the bottom, and I know what the bottom feels like, cuz, you know what I mean, and it's a rough place, but it's weird how our people, being one of them, just seem to get attached to it.
Yeah.
But just a fighter, and just, my kids know that I love them, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though I haven't been the best father, we've got a little saying for it, father, I haven't really been father's arsehole. But I just, before I get there, I'll make them changes, and I will have them have relationships with my kids. But just remember, just lad that had a crack,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not a quitter, bro. Yeah.
One thing I will say, bro, and same goes this time, and you know, there's only been two brothers that I've done a podcast with, and then you felt that it wasn't right time for you want to sit and do it again.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy to do, bro. It's because it's not my story, it's your story.
Yeah.
I'm just here to, I guess, accommodate that conversation. Yeah. But the one thing that I'll bring up, because it was quite relevant to your story that you said too, that you said in the last one, bro, is you gave a lot of credit to your kids' mothers.
Oh yeah.
And the thing you said was, the thing I want to be remembered for is that by the grace of God, I found great women to have kids to.
Blessed there, bro.
Yeah.
I never really got to touch on that, but like, straight out, like, bro, I'm a big advocate for, man, you gotta love your woman. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, I'm a strong advocate for you fix the man, you fix the family, but you gotta love your black man, you gotta love your woman. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta, if you ain't getting on, whatever you're not getting on over, you gotta learn forgiveness for whatever reason, because that's helped me, like, with forgiving my partner. You know what I mean?
There you go.
And yeah, just forgiving, and then just having that open heart to receive all that love. But man, that's one, mate. The mothers of my kids, like, yeah, I don't know how, like, maybe it was because I was such a sly and deceptive, and like, I'm not gonna get around the fact, like I was an addict, like, I couldn't go out with certain girls, so I could only go with women that worked and were strong. Not trying to put anyone down or nothing, but because of the lifestyle I live. But that's one area I was blessed in, bro. Yeah. Like, yeah, my kids' mothers are OGs, bro. Yeah. And like, they probably don't like me. I don't know how they feel about me. I know Yak loves me because I'm getting married with her this year too. I forgot that's how we're getting married. But
congratulations, my
brother.
brother.
Bro, yeah, the blessings of truth. But yeah, like, OGs, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't take no credit. It's all them, bro.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in, my brother.
God bless.
Love you, boss.
Love you too, my brother.